Hey, what's up? This is Matt Dietz, and this is Agency Launch. This is the show where I talk about what it's like to run an insurance agency. I talk about staffing and customer service and marketing and sales, and if you can do those four things well, you'll be successful. All right, so in order to help you do one of those things well, we are in an interesting market right now, and they are encouraging agents to pivot and look at other types of coverage to sell. So if you text me 208-213-8809, I have a free resource to help you get your foot in the door to writing commercial insurance. I didn't write commercial for like 2 years. I wish I started sooner, but now I do it really well. So I'm going to tell you what you need to know to get your foot in the door with commercial. So text me commercial to 208-213-8809. All right, on with the show. Are you dying for something to be easy? Does everything seem just that much harder these days? You know, do you hate accord forms every time you want to apply for something? I've got something to make your life a little bit easier. I want to introduce you to Brightco. Brightco is an online jewelry insurance company that has made buying insurance for your jewelry so easy. You can get a quote in like 2 minutes. You answer 6 questions. You can do the quote. You can bind it. You're going to be done before you even know that you started. Brightco will manage all payments, claims, reporting, and commissions all on this slick portal. And in a world where our tech feels clunky and lethargic, it is a breath of fresh air to have something modern at our fingertips that make our lives easier and our customers' lives easier. So go to bright.co/Matt Dietz. That's brite.co/MATTDIETZ to learn more, and go right to that site to get appointed. Let's go. Hey, what's up? All right, I wanted to share a strategy that I had to learn the hard way, and I wanted to save you the same pain that I have felt a number of times in my career. This is a simple move that can save you time and it can save you accounts, okay? There have been times in my career where I have been asked a question from a client, and it has ranged in all different sorts of ways, right? Like, is this claim covered? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? The one that I can think of off the top of my head is like, is this covered? You want to be sure that the information you're giving to your client in any fashion, this is going to sound obvious, but I'll tell you why. You're going to make sure that the information that you're giving your client is accurate, okay? And that it's right, and that there's like no wiggle room. It's black and white. And you can defend your answer if you have to afterwards, okay? For example, I had a client who said, hey, early in my career, right, or like new agent, yeah, I've got some water leaking behind my wall, and I need to know if that's covered. New agent, water inside a house. Yeah, that's covered. No problem. Yeah, that's not covered. It's not covered, right? And so they filed a claim and it gets declined. And I'm left there standing there like, well, what do you mean it's not covered? It's water inside of a house. How can that possibly be? And then, I didn't read the contract, before I started. I didn't read the entire policy, but it sounded like something that made sense, there's common sense. Another time I wrote a replacement policy for a gentleman, and I said, you say in the policy, is this, when you do the application, it's like, is this going to be a replacement for this policy? And the second policy was a farmer's policy. So I assumed that when the new policy issued, the old policy would cancel because this is a replacement. It asked me what policy it's replacing. Yeah, it doesn't cancel. And the guy didn't find out about it for like 18 months because he didn't check his bank account, and we kept taking, $79 a month out for a year and a half. So I've learned some things the hard way, and now I am significantly more prepared because I find out. I had a conversation yesterday with the woman, and after doing this for 19 years, I'm like 99% sure of a lot of the answers that I give. Okay, I've seen it. I've seen a lot of things, but I want to be 100% sure. Okay, I want to be 100% sure. So, and I can't remember everything. Okay, there's a lot of the things that you deal with. You'll have kind of a freak claim come up, and you'll get this question asked about a horse. Is there coverage for a horse that runs through my fence? That's a question that you might have to ask someday. Okay, you'll find the answer. You'll give it to the client, and it will proceed however you want it to. You'll get asked the same question like 5 years down the road. You're not going to remember. Okay. I won't. I do not have that deep of a memory where I'm going to remember exactly. I'm like, oh man, I do remember when that happened. I can't remember if that was covered. So you got to find out. Okay. This is why I urge you to have relationships with people in your companies to make sure that you can get the answer from the horse's. Oh, that was bad. The horse's mouth. Sorry, that aligned perfectly, but it wasn't supposed to with the horse and the horse's mouth thing. So I had a woman come in yesterday as I was leaving the office, nice woman, and she's like, hey, I was just driving and I was following a dump truck and it dropped a big rock and, it hit my bumper and it damaged my bumper. I said, well, let me go and look. So we go out and look at it, and sure enough, it's cracked. It's cracked. It wasn't a dent. It wasn't a paint chip. It cracked the bumper. And I was like, yeah, this is absolutely covered. And I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. Like, I know a windshield in this situation is a comp claim. And I know in the past, I've had something happen where a car has hit, I think, a stationary object in the road. And I thought that would be a comp claim because it's similar. It's similar to something hitting your car. Okay. But if something is stationary in the road and you hit it, that's a collision. If something is moving and hits your car, that's a comp claim. And I was 99% sure that was the case. And I was like, ma'am, I'm 99% sure this is a comp claim, but I'm going to verify it. And yes, I verified it. I called a claims adjuster and she said, yes, that's a comp claim. The reason I'm telling you this is because when you get this information wrong and when you give bad information to a client, it takes time to clean it up. There are a number of things that can happen. You can lose an account. You can absolutely lose an account by giving bad information like this, okay? Or it's something that you have to fix. And that can take hours of time. It can take hours. You're going to have to, you know what it's like dealing with service. Maybe you're on hold for a few hours. Maybe you're on chat. Maybe you have to escalate it. You can avoid all of that with like a 90-second phone call to the right person. So build your network, okay? Find out people who you can call. And I had to learn this too. There was early in my career, in order to find out if something was covered, I was calling like claims. Why wouldn't you call claim to find out if something is covered, right? That makes sense to me. Well, they'll never tell you, okay? They'll say, well, you have to file the claim to figure out if it's covered. And I hated that answer. I hated it. I was like, what do you mean? I need to counsel my client on if this is going to be covered or not. Is it covered? We can't tell you that over the phone. You have to file the claim. And I was like, that's not good enough. So then I just started calling claims adjusters and found out that is the way to go. Claims adjusters love to talk to us. They want us to know the right answers. They want us to be able to relay the proper information to our clients. Okay. So call a claims adjuster. If you don't know one, you can find one. Okay. Go into your system, find an auto claim. That's a collision. If you have a question about a collision, you can find their information on an active auto claim in your agency. So go into claims, find a collision claim, open it up. There's going to be an adjuster with a name and a phone number and an email in there. Okay. They always call back. Okay. So that's my advice to you today. Give good information, verify the information you're giving. The thing I like to say is like, I always want to be able to blame somebody else if the information is wrong, because I don't want it sitting on my shoulders. I want to be able to blame. I was like, that's not true. That's what my adjuster told me. Like, I want to be able to have backup in the event that I give bad information. Okay. So that's my advice to you. I swear it'll save you time, it'll save you heartache, and it'll save you policies. just a good habit to get into. So there you go. My name's Matt. This is Agency Launch. You can find me all over the place. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Dietz Agency. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Don't forget to send me a text at 208-213-8809. And don't forget to check out my master program at agencylaunch.net. Thank you for listening. Keep up the good work.